Hello, everyone. Hope you are well on this Sunday afternoon. It is a really nice day out here, so I'm going to try to do this outside on the patio. So bear with me. I hope the audio and the video quality is okay. It's like 72 degrees out here, maybe sunny. Mrs. Dawg's been out there picking beans. She's still picking okra, beans, peas, a few okra, peas, okra and peas. Okay. That's about it, and they're about done. So we still got loofah. We've already planted stuff for the winter, and that's carrots and beets. Right. Lettuce. We're gonna try lettuce. Yep. And what else? Spinach. Carrots, lettuce, spinach. So we'll see what happens. So I'm going to go into several things. I'm going to talk about how we should be stay busy preparing because make no mistake, we are more, it's more than a spiritual battle. It's more than a spiritual warfare here. You are next. We are next, if not already. I'll go into that. Also, I'll give some updates on what's going on overseas and the war related to that. Also, I have a bonus verse for today, and I have a verse for you millennials out there, you younger folks, or if you're younger than a millennial. I don't know, I forget the age group of the millennials, but I just know we're just barely in the Generation X. We're on the outer band. Technically, Miss Dog's a boomer, but I think I'm in limbo. I'm somewhere in between that. I don't even know what I am. Anyway, um, war. Israel is fighting on three fronts effectively right now. They're waging war on three different directions. Airstrikes are the big thing for right now. They have not gone in on a ground invasion, at least not yet. Not that we know about. But the violence is escalating over there. Lebanon, Syria, the Palestinian areas, Gaza. It's just escalating. I saw some other reports to where China is deploying multiple warships to that region now, the Middle East region, probably in the Mediterranean, where the United States has two carrier groups. That's a lot of firepower right there. Two carrier groups right now parked in the Eastern Mediterranean. China is supposed to be deploying up to 6 warships to the region as well. Now, that's different for them. Now, China traditionally has not been a big naval power. They have not traditionally been a power that is able to project power on a global scale. They are trying to, they've improved that. They're trying to uh, advance all of that, and they have been. Their navy has grown big time. It ain't to where they can take on the United States Navy, not in my opinion, especially if it's not near their homeland. But it's we'll see what happens. Personally, I think if I were China, it would be a perfect time to take Taiwan right now because the United States is so, I think, so focused, at least I believe, on still trying to help on Ukraine, Russia thing, and now on Israel. So a lot of our attention is to that. And so it would be a perfect time to take Taiwan. I don't believe the United States would even help. Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, that's just a thought that came to my mind. I did see a report also that the United States is preparing for a possible major attack on Washington, D.C. They simulated incoming missiles and hijacked airplanes attacking the area. The interesting part about that is I wonder if they were simulating an attack from a foreign source or a domestic source. Another thing that popped in my head. Who knows? You know? Also, let's see. United States deploying or is getting ready to deploy more troops to the region. The USS Gerald Ford, one of the big carrier groups or big carriers out there in the Eastern Mediterranean, There was a report I saw last night that said that they served their crew steak and lobster for dinner just the other evening. And usually something like that, especially those of you in the military, you probably know this, especially in the Navy. Well, probably more than the Navy, but usually when they do something like that, that means it's either a holiday, which it's not a holiday, or there is bombshell news coming or bad news coming. So we will see what happens. I just thought that was an interesting story. Um, Things are escalating over there. But there's hotspots all over the world, not just there. And so I think we need to keep an eye on it. I also saw where there have been very heated and violent demonstrations across the United States, well, worldwide really, but as far as United States, New York City, big time. I saw some video where a bunch of cops were they're out in force, but they were physically in a brawl with these anti-Israel protesters. And I tell you, these guys, in my opinion, this is what you get for effectively having no border to the south. I mean, this is what you get. And granted, these people might have been here for a while, but how did they get here? And make no mistake that it's not just against Israel. It's not just against Jewish. That's what they're saying, but it's more than that. It's you. It's me. If you're no, unless you're, those of you who are not Jews, if you're just Americans of other, mixtures or whatever, it's for you too, especially if you're a Christian. So don't be under the illusion that you're not included in that threat group. You are. We are. So how are you preparing? How are you, or do you realize that? I think a lot of people are just blissfully ignorant of that. In fact, a lot of the protesters that are probably out there don't realize it either. That they're coming for you too, buddy. Or they plan to. So, what do you think about that? I know it's probably dawning on a lot of very liberal Jewish people that, hey, uh, they want me dead too. Yeah, they do. Yes, they do. Welcome to the party. Welcome. So, what do you do about that? We need to stay busy preparing for anything like that when you're out. As far as your home, it's your security. What can you do to improve that? We talked about that before. But what I think the big thing I want to get across is, and I know probably a lot of you do this, but some of you may be watching that have done no preparing or just very little here and there. That's okay. It's never too late. It's never too late to start. Now, if you haven't started at all, please do start preparing. Start something with something. Water, extra water, some extra non-perishable food that you will eat. Try to think about doing something every day, or at least every several times a week, as far as what can you do to improve your situation or your family, your property, spiritual, security, physical preparedness, conditioning, physical conditioning. Again, water filtration. Even if you've got some extra, everybody talks about the Berkey filters, whatever, but also have on hand some extra, the portable, the filters, the mini Sawyers, the Life Straws. Personally, I like the mini Sawyers better. That's just us, but have several of them. They're also great for camping or hiking, but have some on hand at home. I think we'll see a huge increase in crime, theft, not just out there in the stores, I think eventually what's going to happen to a lot of these, especially in the cities, they're either going to close the stores down or they're going to they're going to put more security measures on these things, on the products, or have it just to where it's only pickup or delivery only. What happens then? Where do they turn to? Hello, your home, your vehicle, what's in your vehicle? Or do you have some preparedness in there as well? Even just the basics, like, I don't know, jumper cables, tire inflator, your first aid. I keep a Swiss Army knife in mine. It has all kind of tools on it. Personal protection tool. I used jumper cables yesterday. I've used the tire inflator multiple times. Things comes in handy. Comes very handy. And then also depending on where you live or where you're driving and the weather. We're coming into winter here, so some extra winter gear. Some water if you get stuck, or something happens to where you're stranded and help's not coming for a while. Think about those things. Okay. In your home, do you have fire extinguishers? Do you have a plan for if fires are coming your way, or your house, if it's in danger of fire? Have some kind of plan with that as well. I'm going to move to the verses I have. I actually have three. They're short, but they're good. They pack a punch. The first one is from Ephesians chapter 4, verse 29 says, "Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen." That's a tough one, but we are called to do that, And Ms. Dawg and I were talking about that earlier, or yesterday actually, is that, we really should not get into the business of the gossip, and what did they do? They're doing this. You know, we're only supposed to build up others. You know, uh, Now you can rebuke in a respectful way, uh, and that's different. You know, but let's try to build up others and be that good example. All right. As Christians, especially, you got the Christian label on you. You're being watched. You're being watched a lot. You may not even realize it. So keep that in mind. Other one is 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 15 through 16 says, "But as he who called you is holy, you also be holy in all your conduct, since it is written, you shall be holy, for I am holy." That's another good one. Essentially saying something very similar there. All right, for you youngsters, for you young folks, and I know I have some out there. I know there's some watching this. I know there's millennials watching here. This is 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 12 says, "Do not let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example for the believers in speech, in conduct, in love, and faith, and in purity." You can still lead, you can still influence others, even though you're a young person. Okay? Definitely. So I hope that's helpful. Keep that in mind. I hope that's helpful and encouraging. All right. Let me know your thoughts on these things, and let's just keep busy out there doing something to keep preparing, and let's stay safe. Be careful. God bless you. I'll see you soon.